You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Exodus begins at CNN over looming threat of Bari Weiss takeover report, based on an article by Tom Bogany. CNN's owners want power without accountability. The real story: Paramount's pending $111 billion move on Warner Bros. Discovery has already started reshaping CNN before the ink is dry. Paula Reid declined a new contract after weeks of uncertainty. Swisher says she will leave when the deal closes, and CNN staff are reportedly weighing their exits while David Ellison and his circle refuse to say who will actually run the place. The public-facing story is about talent departures. The real story is ownership using ambiguity as leverage. Power sits upstairs. The institutional power here is not with the journalists and not with the managers trying to soothe them. It sits with the people who can buy the company, install leadership, and rewrite the editorial chain of command afterward. Ellison has not publicly articulated his plans for CNN, including who would oversee it. That is not a communication gap. It is the point. Uncertainty is being used as a management tool, and the employees are expected to absorb the risk. The Bari Weiss template. Reid's alarm is not abstract. She watched what happened after Paramount took over CBS. Chaos under Bari Weiss, then a purge of 60 minutes. That history matters because it reveals the mechanism. Ownership doesn't need to announce a purge in advance if it can create a climate where staffers self-select out. It can call that transition. It can call that strategy. But the function is the same. Consolidate editorial power, intimidate the newsroom, and let fear do part of the work. Misdirection by design. The weak framing in stories like this is to treat the departure of recognizable on-air figures as the drama itself. That turns a structural takeover into a personnel anecdote. Reid is not leaving because of temperament or ego. She is reacting to a leadership vacuum and a merger environment in which executives cannot say who her bosses will be by year's end. The burden is not on journalists to pretend this is normal. The burden is on the owners and executives who have chosen opacity over accountability. What this pattern is: this is the familiar corporate media playbook: buy the platform, keep the plan vague, let uncertainty discipline the staff, and install ideologically useful oversight once resistance has been softened. The reported long-running plan for Bari Weiss to gain editorial oversight at CNN fits that model neatly. So does the silence around it. When ownership treats a newsroom as a purchasable asset rather than an institution with standards and memory, leadership transition becomes a polite label for ideological capture and workplace destabilization. The point of the silence. CNN's problem is not merely that journalists are uneasy, it is that the people with actual authority are refusing to exercise it transparently. Ellison and his executives could reassure staff by naming leadership and defining the editorial structure. They have not. That omission is the message. It tells the newsroom that power is available to investors, not to reporters, and that everyone else is expected to wait while the owners finish deciding what kind of press they want to own. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article, with the automated voice of Amy. Thanks for listening.